We are watching Maddie's breaststroke below the water, commentary by Coach Chris. Now in this video it looks like she's sitting a little lower in the water, but the mechanics are pretty good. I think it's really the hip height that's the issue. So the pull out is pretty good, but there's a few things we can do to help increase that, and I see a big issue with the pull that we can get better on. So underwater video on breaststroke always reveals a lot more. So shrugging up, but the hands are a little low. They look lower than they were on the overwater video. Now they're nice and they're in alignment, but we want to shrug up and get those elbows and those forearms. We want to get everything just under the surface. So this is just a little bit low on the hands. And as we can see, the head never gets below them because the hands are too low. And remember, our goal is to get the modern breaststroke, the goal is to become the skipping stone type of breaststroke as opposed to the dolphin dive breaststroke. So we want to get higher in the water, we want to get on top of the water and skip across the surface. So a lot of what I see with the deeper hands and a lot of what I'm seeing, it really relates to this head position. Her eyes are forward the whole time. You can watch as her hands extend, she keeps the eyes forward. And once that face hits the water, Maddie, you need to tuck the chin down towards your chest and look down back beneath you. We were working on this the other day with some of our head position drills. But once that head hits the water here, we got to get those eyes even further down. And in that one, you actually do it. This is the position. We don't see this on all your strokes. So you do get it every once in a while. But this is the proper position. Eyes all the way down, letting yourself finish the kick. Now you're still underwater, but the reason is because you're not doing this every stroke. Once you do this every stroke, it'll raise that body position up. It's just right now, because you're only doing it every once in a while, you're doing the other stroke more often, and it's keeping you low in the water. But there we're doing a good job. And there that head's up. So we had 2 strokes where it was perfect, which is better than not. I mean, you're approaching the wall and trying to get the head in the right position. So we know what we're doing. And I really like that turn. That's a really, really, really good approach to the wall. And I like how you're bringing the feet under. There's a minimum amount of upper body rise and fall. That's a solid turn. So I'm not going to complain about it. I like that turn. Hands aren't locked in. We got to get these locked in. Hand over hand, wrap the thumb around. You can't be at this stage of the push off and not have it locked in, because the water is going to push you around and it's going to grab onto your hands and it's going to slow you down. I'd like to see a little more of that first glide. And as we talk about, you're taking that first pull and you're heading this way, away from the surface. I'd like to see more second glide. So, we talk about this a lot in the breaststroke. The key to the breaststroke pullout isn't the pull and the kick, it's the glides. We got to have longer glides. We got to use more of that energy on our glides. So really good timing on a breakout. You're lifting the head late, which is what I like to see on a breakout. But we can clean up a lot of this timing. More first glide, more middle glide, and more streamlining on both. So be a little more patient on the glides. Now, one of the things we talk about, she keeps her hands narrow on her sweep and she doesn't turn her pinkies upwards. And what it's causing is she's keeping her hands flat and her palms down towards the bottom of the pool. And you can see what I call it's like she's wiping off a table surface on her pole. So she sweeps out, but her hands are flat. So, say her palm's here. It's going to be hard to do with this pen, but I'm going to try it anyway. All right, let's see if I can do this. So right now our hand position is flat, like this in the water. And that's at the end of her sweep. What I'd like to see is her hand position tilt, so that her pinky's angled up towards the surface and her thumb's angled down towards the bottom a little bit. And this is crucial for setting up the right catch, because if she doesn't get, because Maddie, if you don't get the pinky upwards, if you don't get the arms rotated that direction, you can't get the arms to catch the water the way you want. So the palms are flat now, so you're kind of doing what we talk about as wiping the top of the table off. You're not getting that hand low. You know, the breaststroke position here should look more like this, with the hand coming down low, grabbing a lot of water. And right now, the hand's relatively flat. And so the fix to that is really on the sweep. Make sure that when we sweep out, before we catch, we're turning those hands and arms and rotating them out a little bit. Get a little wider and try and get the pinky up towards the surface and the thumb down towards the bottom a little more. And then sweep down to grab water with those arms and then pull it in. We'll talk about that a lot more, because you're not the only one who does this, and we have to address it a lot. But I like a lot of what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing a lot of the stuff we're working on translate into your breaststroke. Big thing for you is that head position. Need to make sure we're getting that head down. That is the key to the next step of improving your breaststroke, getting that head position into the right spot. Now, we saw a few strokes where you're getting it right, but a majority of your strokes on this, you're still keeping that head up. So we got to get better at getting that head down in the proper position. Try to get the hands closer to the surface. And then on that sweep, before we're anchoring and grabbing the water, we got to get those pinkies upward and the thumbs the hands angled so that the pinky's up more, so that we can bend the arm in the right direction and catch water. It's just the way our body works. You have to get your hands in that position before you start to catch. Otherwise, you're going to do what you're doing now, which is kind of wiping off the surface of the table and not really grabbing water. Really good weight transfer on your kick. Getting that head down will help get the body higher in the water and help finish the kick with more power. But I like what I'm seeing. Hips are really driving back into the legs. That looks really good. Turns very solid. Streamline and pullouts mechanically good, but you're rushing through all of the most important parts, the glides. So glide more at the front, glide more in the middle. That middle glide where your hands are on your thighs and your head's down and you're just tucked and holding it, that is the most important glide for breaststrokers, and especially good breaststrokers. If you want to have a good pullout, you have to become really good at that glide. So excellent job. Seeing a lot of good things, seeing some things we can work on. I hope you can keep a few of them in your head, and I know we'll address them at practice. So look forward to seeing you at practice tonight.